Like notes to the outro. These are the songs of our lives. Hello and welcome to episode number 33 of Songs of Our Lives. I'm Brad Rose. I'm a musician, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy, Digitalis, and somebody who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week, I invite on a guest and we talk about the songs and the music that has stuck with them and been with them throughout their journey. Before I get into this week's guest, I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. And if you've been enjoying the show, you've been listening, I would really, really appreciate if you could leave a review on wherever you listen to podcasts, because that kind of stuff helps and it'll help more people hear it. And it doesn't cost anything. So if you're digging it, you could do that. That would be amazing. So this week, my guest is Jharis Yokley, and he is somebody whose name was new to me. He's got his first record coming out on May 3rd on Rainbow Blonde Records called Sometimes Late at Night. And it's so fucking good, y'all. But so he is a incredible drummer. Like, he's played with like Solange and Chance the Rapper, DJ Premier, I think, even. I mean, unbelievable, right? But this is his first record, and it's not just a solo drum record. I mean, he is a hell of a songwriter too. That's kind of the fun sort of secret weapon of this. Is like, oh, he's not just an amazing drummer, he's also an amazing songwriter. He worked with Jose James and Big Yuki and off the top of my head, Talia Billig. And like, again, it's such a surprising record. I remember when I got this in my inbox, I think it was like on a Friday, or I listened to it the first time. It was like a Friday afternoon. It'd been this really long week, and it come like the first track is called Back and Forth, and it's got Jose James on it, and it just immediately grabbed me, and it had like all like the electronics, the synths were so great, the bass was so good, of course the drum, but the hooks on it, and it just, everything about it was perfect in that moment. It had me from that first track, and I've listened to this record so many times. It's really one of my favorite records of 2024. So I hope you all check it out. I had a lot of fun doing this episode. Jharis and I had never met, didn't know each other at all. This was organized through the publicist who was working on the record, so we hadn't communicated in any way before we got on the call, and it was pretty great, and we had a lot of fun. He picked some killer tunes, and yeah, I had a great time. I hope you all have a great time listening to it. Thanks for listening. My guest today is a drummer, a songwriter, a singer, and he's made one of my favorite records of 2024 so far. It's Jharis Yokley. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Good to be here.
So, Sometimes Late at Night is out on May 3rd. How's it feel to have it so close?
Man, I'm very excited. I mean, because we recorded this a while ago. So it's kind of to the point now where I'm like, yeah, I need it to be out. I want people to hear the music. And yeah, it's great. It's my first time releasing music ever. Yeah. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I was curious because I mean, like, you've played with a ton of people, played on a bunch of really great stuff. Why did it feel like it was finally time to do your like first solo record?
It's crazy. Really, a lot of the artists that I play for, they were planting those seeds. And I think the first one to do that was My Brightest Diamond. We were on tour somewhere in Europe, and she was like, yeah, playing with other artists is cool. It's great to do. But you should always have kind of your own thing, brewing. And that was the first time somebody had said that to me. And then Jose, a few years later, he was like, yeah, yeah, you're gonna release an album pretty much, and I'm gonna produce it. So it was like, all right, I
Yeah.
guess that's what we're doing now. Yeah,
That's awesome. And you started like I don't know if it was recording it, but like the process started during lockdown, right? Like in March 2020 when everything was shutting down.
yeah,
I'm curious how that, I mean, that's a pretty unique context, like how that sort of influenced the creative approach and even some of the themes that are explored in the record.
yeah. So yeah, March 2020, everybody's at home because at first we all thought it was like, oh yeah, 2 weeks, that's cool, just
Right.
2 weeks off, everybody. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. I get to practice because I was on the road a lot during that time,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I get to practice and take some time off. But then 2 weeks became forever, it seems like. So I just opened up my laptop and started making beats. And I had kind of a
Mm.
makeshift drum set in my bedroom where I put towels and pillows on top of the drums I already had. And I started playing to these beats and creating music. And
That's
then I was like, well,
awesome.
let me just put some words to them because the album is about a relationship. And it was
Hmm.
still kind of fresh at that time in March of 2020. So I was like,
Right.
yeah, let me talk about, this ex-girlfriend a little bit. And yeah, and it grew from there.
That's awesome. And then you mentioned Jose, so like your collaborators on this, you got Jose, Big Yuki, and um,
Talia.
Talia. Yeah. How did how did all that happen? Like, and I'm curious too, like working with them, how that sort of helped shape the record too.
Yeah, so with Jose, I actually got the gig with him to be his drummer in March of 2020, like a
Oh
week
man.
before or a couple of weeks before the world shut down. So, and we hadn't played yet. So I guess I was posting Instagram videos, and at that time I was posting videos of me playing to some of my tracks. And I'm
Mm.
guessing that's where he kind of was like, oh, this dude is a producer too, a little bit. So then I guess that got the wheels turning. And then we started talking about making an album. And then he was teaching me, he gave me vocal lessons, which was great.
Oh, that's
Very
awesome.
appreciative of him for that. And yeah, kind of got the wheels turning. And him and Talia is the head of the record label, Rainbow Blonde Records.
Okay.
And
Nice.
yeah, they kind of helped me through a lot of this stuff because I don't know anything about being a solo artist. I don't know. I just know drums,
Right.
bro. I just know how to play any style that you want me to play. I can make it work. But this stuff is totally different. So they helped
Yeah.
me with all that stuff. And as far as Yuki, I mean, he's the craziest guy, so talented. Like,
Oh man.
and he's so funny. It's weird because when we were going over we had a session where he was not overdubbing, but adding some things like post production, and
Mm.
how effortlessly he can create is mind blowing. Like, it's
That's
so
amazing.
crazy. I think it's too much for his brain too, because we'll go over one song and then he'll find like a patch on the keyboard that he likes, and then he'll just get into it and play something completely different. I'm like, that's killing. But let's go back to what we were doing. Like, it's too much talent. Like, it's crazy. So, but like they kind of honed in the vision of the record
Yeah.
in their own unique way, each person of those three. So like, I'm very appreciative of all of
That's
them.
awesome. Yeah, I could listen to Yuki's like just solos for days, dude. That guy
Yeah,
is
it's crazy.
on another level.
Yeah.
um, so are you gonna do you have tour plans? Like, show how are you doing this stuff live? Like, obviously you're used to being behind the kit, but you're doing a lot more than that on this.
Yeah, exactly. So luckily we have I'm opening up for Jose on a few dates on an upcoming Europe run, I think in May and June. And then we have actually the album release show May 17th, I think, in New York at New Blue. So
All
that's going to be
right.
kind of like the premiere of the
Yeah.
album release, which is great. And then I have a festival show. What is the date? I think May 23rd in
Uh,
Lithuania, which I've never
oh,
been there,
whoa.
so that should be cool. Yeah,
Nice.
bro. I'm
That's
excited.
cool. Hey,
So
that's
yeah,
my
we're working
birthday
on.
too, so that's a good day.
Oh, see, great day, greatness all around. Yeah, and
That's
so we're doing
awesome,
that,
though.
and then there's a possible LA show, but yeah, we're gonna try to keep this moving and try to get it started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I really love the record, and this is where I love work, like having publicists that I know well, and they send me things like, this may not be the thing you normally would cover, but I think you'd be into it. And I've been listening to this record nonstop for like the last month. So
Oh man,
um,
thanks, bro. Awesome.
I'm I'm stoked to do this. So I guess let's get into what we're here for, and we're going to talk about some songs that have got you to where you are in some ways.
Yeah.
And as always, the first place I always start is, what is the first song that you remember?
Now this is tricky. So it was hard for me to actually remember the first song like in my mind. So I'm just
Yeah,
going with an educated guess that it would have to be something from Disney. Because
yeah.
as a kid, you're all watching all the movies, all the Disney
Uh-huh.
movies. So I would say Hakuna Matata
I
is
love it.
the first. Because I remember there's a video of me as a kid, me and my my younger brother, just in our diapers, like singing that song and like running around the house. So that's probably the first song.
That's awesome. Was there, like, growing up, was there like a lot of music in the house, and like were your parents listening to stuff?
Yeah,
When,
yeah,
yeah.
100%, man. So actually, my whole family is very musical. Everybody plays some sort of instrument, or at least they have at one point in life. So my dad plays
Hmm.
organ and piano at the church, and my mom sang.
Nice.
So yeah, 3 years old, something happened. I got on the drums. I don't know the story, but I started at three because the whole family plays something.
Wow.
So yeah, so really the first song was probably some sort of church song, but I
Yeah.
can't remember it. But yeah, we started in
Sure.
church. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you like play drums in the church or anything?
Yeah, yeah, that's where I started
Yeah.
playing drums
Okay. Yeah.
first.
Man,
Yeah, so it
that's
was like
cool.
a family thing. Yeah.
And
Yes,
was this in
sir.
St. Louis? Like, you grew up in St.
Yeah.
Louis?
Yep, in St.
Awesome.
Louis.
Man,
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Well, I love that. Yeah, Disney. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, so I'm sure if I asked her this question, it would be some Disney song.
Oh, 100%.
Like, yeah.
100%.
Well, on a different note, what is a song that makes you cry, or if it doesn't actually make you cry, just kind of makes you feel that feeling?
Man, I don't know if you just heard that, but that was my dog jumping off the bed. But anyway, yeah, a song, man. So there's a couple. One that always gets me is "A Change Is Gonna Come" from
Yeah.
Sam Cooke. I don't know why. I know why, because the first time I heard it was um, on the Spike Lee's Malcolm X movie, and
Mm.
it's the
Mhm.
song that's playing right before Malcolm drives to give a speech, which ends up being like the last one before he gets assassinated, or where he gets
Mhm.
assassinated, and they play that
Mhm.
song. And for some reason, like every time from then on that I hear that song, I get
Yeah.
emotional. It's kind of crazy, super crazy.
I mean, that makes, yeah, it's like one of the best songs ever.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I love that song. And another
yeah,
one that
his,
actually gets me is this song "Hero" by, have you heard it? I think it's Family of the Year, maybe is the name of the.
yeah, yeah, that one. Oh man, that one. I'm a sucker for that song. Like, that's not even normally the
Bro,
kind of thing I listen to, but man, that song. Whew.
yeah, it's crazy. And it was on like some movie,
Yeah.
Boyhood or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, and on the trailers they would play it. I was like, yo, what is this song? And I downloaded it. And I was like, yo, this gets me. I don't even know why, but
I know there's something too, but because that's like where I first heard it was that trailer, and there's something about, like, song. I don't know, that combination, because there was, I remember, this is like 10, 15 years ago now, when the Where the Wild Things movie came out, like the live action one came out, and they used that Arcade Fire song in the trailer. And like, I didn't really care about Arcade Fire at that time, but I heard that and saw it with that video, and it just, whew. And
yeah,
this one had the same kind of effect too. Um,
exactly.
yeah. And it's that's
Amazing.
cool. And I hadn't thought about this song in a minute, so I've been when I got your list the other day, I kind of listened to this a bunch of times. Like, God, I love this song.
Yeah, we back at it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, on the flip side, what's the song that'll always put you in a better mood?
It's funny. Anytime I hear "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees, I just get happy. Like, and if the weather happens to be nice outside, I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like I'm in the 70s. I'm just walking, and it's just like that song. I don't know why. I think also because I saw this meme or TikTok of these goats like walking, but it was to "Staying Alive," and they were kind of
Oh
on
my
beat. And
God,
I was like, oh, this is the greatest.
that's
This is the greatest
awesome.
thing ever. So, "Staying Alive" for
That's
sure.
that's like an all time banger. It's so good. Like
Yeah.
I think people, and it's God, and it's like one of those songs too. I feel like you hear the first 2 seconds and like immediately you're just in the zone.
Oh yeah, and it's so groovy, man. It's crazy.
I know, and then like I feel like I got to look up that video with the ghost because that sounds hilarious. But just the beat, the groove, and then the lyric of like just that you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
the song is strutting. Yeah, it's like okay, but then it's in this,
exactly.
and then the combination of it and like his falsetto is it's like wait what? It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Well, you've had a couple songs that I think that could answer this next question. But what is objectively the best song of all time?
Now, this is like the hardest question ever because for me, it changes a lot.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say, nobody's going to know this song, but in honor of Akira Toriyama, who
Hmm.
just passed away, Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime of all time. So I'm going to say
Awesome.
this song, it's
I
not even
love
a
this.
song, it's like a minute long, but it's called Vegeta Super Saiyan or Vegeta Super Saiyan theme. And when I
Mm-hmm.
hear it, I just go back to being a kid trying to turn into a Super Saiyan and just being awesome. So Vegeta Super Saiyan, his Super Saiyan theme is the best song, the greatest song of all time.
Dude, it goes so hard.
Bro, yeah, man. It's amazing. Oh
it's
my
yeah,
goodness.
it's like
Yeah,
maximalism or something. There, it's just I was
exactly.
really I never would have guessed this was going to be your pick for this song or for this question, but I love it, and I was so stoked with this on here because I love Dragon Ball Z, and
Yes,
like
sir.
um, and as soon as I saw this, like I knew I could hear it, like I knew exactly what it was, and then I like
Yep.
that it's got that piano, and then it's just like it's just
Yeah.
oh man, it is.
I'm trying to figure out a way to insert some sort of Dragon Ball Z into my live show. I
Ooh,
haven't figured it out yet, but it's gonna get there. We're gonna play some of it.
oh my god, that'd be yeah. Well, like on this, so is Yuki going on tour with you?
Yeah, so some of the dates, like the Europe Festival in Lithuania, he'll be there, and on the
Mm-hmm.
release show in New York, he'll be there. But for the Europe dates, I have Asara the Ambassador, who's a great keyboardist as well.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those guys could rip like just shred
Oh yeah,
this.
they would kill it. That's why I want to do it. It would be so great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So did you watch like do you watch a lot of anime? Is that like or did you watch a lot growing up?
Yeah, growing up, definitely like on Cartoon Network, Toonami it was like Dragon Ball Z, um, Gundam was crazy,
Hmm.
Yu Yu Hakusho was crazy, a little bit of Naruto. Like man, all those, but Dragon Ball Z has my heart.
Yeah.
Like we used to draw when
Yeah.
we were kids, and we would always draw Dragon Ball Z characters. So
Oh man, I love that. That's cool.
yeah.
Well, if you work this into your live set, I hope a recording of that happens because I just want to hear it. Or not
Oh
this,
yeah,
but
I
just
got you,
some
bro.
anime thing.
Yep, I'll send it to you too as soon as we do it.
Awesome. This is the most like out of left field pick I've had doing this, and I love it so much. Okay, well, what is a song you used to love, but you heard it recently, or if you think about it now, it doesn't really do it for you anymore?
See, and I feel bad saying this because it's gonna sound. Well, no, I don't feel bad. Okay, so growing up in jazz band middle school, they show you, they play you Watermelon Man by Herbie Hancock. It's a great
Mm-hmm.
song, like the original
Mm-hmm.
version, the Boogaloo feel or whatever. And you're like, oh, this is awesome, this is great. But a couple of years later, you find out that there's a funk version of the song that Herbie did, and it's a
Yeah.
million times better. It's like
Yeah.
one of the greatest songs ever. And I'm like, oh, why
Right.
didn't you guys start us with this one? So for me, anytime I hear the original Watermelon Man, I'm kind of like, nah, this is not it for me at all. At
Okay,
all.
that makes perfect sense because when I saw this, I was like, why would anybody pick the original? Like, and it's great, like you said,
Yeah.
it's a great song, but like that Headhunters version is
It's
on
crazy.
another level.
Yes,
Oh my God.
sir. Yes, sir.
Like, that's one of those things. It's like, what, 50 years old, and it still sounds like music people are trying to make today.
Yeah, man. That's props to Herbie for being able to take one of his songs and actually make it better like the
Yeah,
second time around. Crazy.
no kidding. Yeah, I love Herb. He's playing here next month, but the tickets are, whew,
Oh
might
yeah,
be
you
out of
already
my,
know those are crazy.
I know, might be above my pay grade.
Yep.
But yeah, that's interesting that I mean, I never took like band or anything in school. So that's really interesting that that's like one of the ones, like, I mean, it makes sense, but that's like one of the ones they start you with.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So what was that? What's that like? You know, like I'm assuming you played drums in jazz band. Um,
Yep.
how, like, how's that been like an influence for you? Like going, like, here we are all these years later.
Yeah, man. So for me, I only joined the jazz band because I wanted to play drums with other people because I was just playing like in my parents' basement, in the church on Sundays, and that's not really
Right.
enough for me. So I was like, oh, a chance to play drums with other
Yeah.
people is great. So yeah, middle school, at the jazz band, and it was just great to give me a chance to play with other people my age because obviously at church everybody's older, especially since I was
Right.
3. So like everybody's always been older. Yeah. So now to be with people my own age and learn jazz, which is the foundational style of this instrument. The drum set was built for jazz, actually. It didn't exist before jazz came about in America. It was like this whole story about something about the steamboats, and drums used to be like a multi-person, it was a section.
Right.
So you had one guy
Yeah.
playing the bass drum, one guy playing the snare drum, one guy playing the cymbals. But for these steamboats that were a new invention, like all the rage, like
Mm-hmm.
customers coming on, like trying to cruise on the steamboat. They wanted to hire a band, but like I'm not paying 4 guys to play these drums, so somebody has to learn how to play all of these in one.
Man,
So that's how the modern drum set that we know today came to be. Like everybody,
that's
like one dude
amazing.
had to learn the coordination to play the bass drum with his foot, and I'll play the
Yeah.
cymbals with his other foot, and play the snare drum, and then they added the ride and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a very American instrument, and it started with jazz. So it was
Yeah.
important. Obviously, I didn't know that then,
Sure.
but looking back, it's important to learn the very first style that it was, the drum set was made for.
Mhm. Man, that's so, I had no idea. This is all, I'm learning something new. That's incredible, especially now because, so yeah, I don't know, it was Thanksgiving or something. We were at a parade and you see, marching band and they have a drum section. And in my
Mm.
head, I sit there thinking like, gosh, that's so hard for me to think about. Like, you're just playing one part of it, but
Yep.
how commonplace, like, all we think of is a drum set now, I mean, and
Yeah.
so
Now.
that's really,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The drum
that's really
lines.
cool.
That's the original version that
Yeah.
you see in marching band. Because yeah, from New Orleans, that came all the way from all that. Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
awesome. Man, that's why I love doing the show. I learn all sorts of stuff. This is the best, this is the best thing.
There it
Um,
is.
well, what's a song that most people, some group of people, whoever they are, people hate, people don't like it, but you don't care. You love it anyway.
So this song, I don't know if people hate it, but they definitely would not think that I would love it. And to me, always, ever since I heard it the first time, Dancing Queen by ABBA, I don't know why, but it's just, I don't know, between that and Staying Alive, I got like a disco thing. I don't know, but it's an
Hey,
amazing song.
It's an amazing song. I think those are two songs I like think of together too. Like they're very I mean it's
Yeah,
same 70s disco vibe, but man, that's another one. It's like 2 seconds in. You know what's up.
yeah. So
Ah,
perfect, man.
I like looking up live versions of it just cuz they're live vocals. It's blows my mind. Just blows my mind.
Yeah. I gotta do that. I haven't heard the live version. I'll do that after
Yeah,
this.
I mean it's amazing how like it's really close to the studio version, but which is shocking to me because that sounds so perfectly produced. And the fact that they
Yeah.
can pull that off in a live setting just kind of shows, oh yeah, these people are talented as hell.
Yeah, very talented for sure.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's a good one because I feel like that's a song like a lot of people were kind of like, oh, whatever, but man, it
Yeah, they
goes.
think that stuff is corny. It's like, bro, nah, listen, get into the vibe, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I remember like when I was a teenager, I mean, I thought the Bee Gees were corny because I was a teenager and I was like, this is my parents' music. To
Yeah,
hell with this. But
yep,
as I got older and listened, it's like, man, these guys are doing some crazy stuff. So
exactly.
yeah, open your mind to some of these things are classics for a reason.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, bro. They'll get it when they're older, you know.
Yeah. Well, what is the most romantic song? Are you a romantic?
Man, I am, I guess, but this was the question. I didn't have any answer. I don't have any answer because I'm like, I don't think of songs like romantically like that. But the
Sure.
only thing I can think of is any sort of bossa nova, like Antonio Carlos Jobim, anything from that era in the '60s,
Yeah.
like "Girl from Ipanema," those type of vibes. That's what I see as romantic, but I don't have a
Yeah.
specific song.
No, that's a good call. Like I can see that. Totally has that. Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, I never really thought about that, but now you say it, like that kind of bossa nova, '60s bossa nova vibe is
Yeah,
very. It
black
is
and
very
white,
romantic.
smoke, cigarette smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's just romantic to me. I don't know.
No, I got you. That's. I like that. Hey, may not be a specific pick, but that is a vibe.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
vibe. It's a vibe.
right, and that's what that's what it's about sometimes. When it comes to, especially when it comes to romance. Hey, romance.
Exactly.
Well, what is a song that changed your perspective on an artist?
100%. Once I heard, I mean, I knew from what everybody had told me that the Beatles were amazing, but I had never listened to them really like that. But once I heard Blackbird, I was like, oh, these dudes are on to something crazy. I was like, yo, this song is amazing. Like, man, so Blackbird made me, I'd never hated the Beatles, but I
Hmm.
was just indifferent because I had never really heard
Yeah.
them. Like growing up, we never listened to the Beatles. But then in high school, my band director, Kevin Cole, the show for our sophomore year was a Beatles show. And
Oh
that kind of
wow.
like piqued my interest a little bit. And then I guess studying their music, I came across Blackbird and I was like, okay, this one got me. This one got me. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, this is like one of, I'm not I wouldn't consider myself a huge Beatles fan or anything, but like I like the Beatles and I grew up listening to like my dad was, he grew up he was a teenager in the 60s, so this was his thing. Um but this album, Rubber Soul, that this is on, was like his favorite album. So that's the one I always heard the most.
Yep.
And this song is, it's so, yeah, it is. Like you said, it's one of those ones you hear, you're like, oh, okay. There's like another layer here. Like you start to see why people hold them in such high regard as songwriters.
For sure.
Um,
For
and
sure.
this song too, still, it's like one of those ones that in 2024 feels pertinent. Like
Oh
some of
yeah.
like a lot of the,
Timeless.
you know, so that's awesome. Yeah. I was really excited cause again, I hadn't listened to this in a while. And so it kind of got me going back through Rubber Soul. I was like, yeah, this is a damn good album. Damn good
Yeah,
album.
man. Mm.
Um, well, the Blackbird could, easily have probably been an answer to this next question, but what are your favorite lyrics?
Oh yeah. So for me, it's always been let me get it right, the actual, so I don't want to butcher this. It's reach for the stars, so if you fall, you land on a cloud. It's this old Kanye lyric from graduation. And it always
Yeah.
resonated with me. I don't even know why, but it's just the idea of like set your dreams so high that even if you fail, like you'll end up somewhere way higher than you were
Mm-hmm.
before. And that always,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So that's my lyric that I
Yeah.
love.
I love that one too. Yeah. I mean, like no matter what's gone down with Kanye in recent years and everything, like when he was on top, man, he was
Oh
and
yeah.
this song, this line, like I feel like he's underrated as a lyricist a lot of the time, actually. And
Yeah.
this is one of those lines that's so good. And
Yeah, for sure. Cause he's underrated because he'll have so many songs where he just doesn't care and do the
right.
stupidest lyrics. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of his fault that
That's true. That's fair. But when he's like when he's dialed in and he seems to give a damn, it's stuff
Exactly.
like this comes out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have such like there's a lot of Kanye stuff I just love so much. No
Oh
matter
yeah,
what
man.
happens, you just
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you got to separate art and the artist. It's okay.
You 100% have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you 100% have to.
Um. All right. So, what is the last song you completely fell in love with?
Bro, staying on the ABBA tip, slipping through my fingers, bro.
Yeah,
I just
dude.
felt like this was last week. I was on TikTok or something, and there's like some dude did like a remix. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I looked it up trying to download it, and I saw ABBA, and I was like, oh, this is like a cover. And I clicked on the ABBA, and I was like, man, this is so it's on loop. I just play that song like, and it's on loop in the gym though. Like, so I'm in the gym listening to ABBA. Like, people don't even know.
Hell
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Man, this song like rips me apart cuz it's
Yep.
so like I said my daughter's 10 and this song is about like a mother and like her daughter going off to school and like growing up and it's like shh,
Mhm.
this is too real in my life right now. Oh my
Yeah.
god, but it is such a good song. ABBA is so yeah, I think most people who I don't know, I feel like a lot of people just don't really get that ABBA
Yeah.
is how good they are.
So good. So good. Great.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's cool too. Like that's an interesting thing. Like I always have one of the songs, and where the questions we're not getting into like a cover that's better than the original. But I love like that's always so cool when you hear something and it's a cover song, and then it leads you to the original, and it opens up this new thing. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
sir.
I feel like that's like one of my favorite. They're trying to ban TikTok or whatever, but that's like one of my.
Oh,
I feel like that happens on TikTok to me all the time. I hear something and it's a cover, and I'm like, this sounds really good. What is it? And then you find out it's a cover, and then you hear the original, and you're like, oh, this is even better. like,
yes. That's one of the best things about TikTok for me. Yeah, just how much music I've discovered on there is crazy.
yeah. So I really hope they fail at
Yeah, this is
banning it.
crazy. I'm not really following it, but I'm like, oh, this is a lot.
Yeah, I just saw something about it this morning. I was like, really? Of all the things you're going to ban, okay,
That's what
cool.
I'm saying. Like, don't we have way bigger fish to fry, bro? What are we talking
right.
about, man?
I know, and it just goes to show you, it's like, well, if they actually care, they could if they wanted to. They just don't want to fix it. Those other things.
100%. Yeah.
um. All right. Well, what's the best hype song? What gets you going?
Man, for me, lately it's been Danny California, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, bro. That song, I started listening to it before I was doing this off Broadway show thing where I was like a part of the show. It was me and this
Oh,
actor.
whoa.
That's it. We're just on stage doing our thing. And I started listening to that song before, and like the chorus, every time it comes in, I just get hyped. Like I'm like, I don't even know why. And like even the first time I heard it, which was like 10 years ago, I was like, this song is one of them ones. Like it just gets me ready. Another song that I can put on repeat over and over
Hmm.
again and still have the feeling. It's great.
That is good. Yeah, no, that's a good call. I hadn't, I, hadn't thought about this song in a long time. Like when I was a teenager, that's when like Under the Bridge and Give It Away, like that was their big stuff. And
Yep.
which again, like Give It Away is another good hype song. And they've got a lot. They're good at that. Like songs that like their cover of Higher Ground, man. Like when that
Oh
the bass
yeah,
starts, oh, man. Like
bro.
I mean, the
Amazing.
original is incredible, but like that's one of those ones where the original and the cover both just go hard as
Yeah, that was
hell.
the first time I heard Higher Ground was it was on the Power Rangers movie when I was a kid. When he was skydiving out of the plane and yeah, Higher Ground was amazing.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's cool. I had never, when I was looking this up, I'd never seen the video for Danny California, and the video is hilarious. I don't know if you've seen the video where
I haven't
they're,
seen it.
it's like they're playing, it's the four of them playing live, but it's all like, it starts out as like the like Ed Sullivan show style. So they're dressed up, you know, like in 60 and it's black and white. And then it's basically like them cosplaying as all these different genres. Like
Oh,
even to like
nice.
there's like a goth thing and like a Sex Pistols one. And it's, yeah, like they do like 80s glam metal, which is the most hilarious one because they got like the blonde wigs
Nice.
and yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it
awesome.
kind
I'll
of,
check that.
yeah, it made the like the song's already like fun as hell, but it just kind of made it even more fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's on my
uh,
list now.
yeah, yeah, that and like ABBA live performances, like you
Yeah.
gotta. It's what YouTube
Yeah,
was
for
invented
sure.
for. Uh,
100%.
all right, well, we got the two big questions left. So the first one is, what is the song that means the most to you? And it's not necessarily the song itself, but you associate it with something or someone or an experience that's been like really important for it to you.
Yeah, so two songs came to mind for me, and they both kind of have the same meaning about the same ex-girlfriend that my album is about. And when I hear
Nice.
these songs, the first one is Magic by
Hmm.
Coldplay, and the other one is Show Me Love by Laura. I think it's Mvula. I think that's how you pronounce
I
it.
think so.
MV.
I it's one of those names
Yeah,
I've read it a bunch of times, and then I'm like, oh, I got to say this out loud.
exactly.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully I'll meet her and
Yeah.
you know, I'll ask her how to pronounce her last name. But yeah, those two songs, it's just, I don't know, listening to them, it takes me back to that time, like 2018, 2017, when we were together. And it's very, like, I get emotional just hearing those songs.
Man, I the Coldplay song, like I don't have, I like Coldplay is kind of like the Beatles were for me. Like I'm not saying Coldplay is as good as
Yeah.
the Beatles. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm
You
just
know, I know.
I don't like dislike them or anything, but I don't have a whole lot of feeling. I know my wife really likes Coldplay, so maybe
Yeah.
she likes the song. But that Laura and Vula song, oh my god,
See?
it is incredible, and the way and just like the flow of it, like how it starts out and it's just like ethereal thing with like her voice and an organ, and then it's like
Yeah.
it goes to that acoustic part where it's like she's in your ear, and oh my god,
Hmm.
like what a love song.
Yeah.
Like,
It's genius level, like the ride she takes you on. And I remember I listened to this song after we broke up for the first time. We were like going crazy, like roller coaster. So like the first time or second time after we broke up, I went back to my room and listened to this song. I was just crying. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy, bro. This is
yeah,
crazy." But that song is yeah, amazing.
you know, and I don't know a ton of her other work, and that's on me.
You should
Um,
check it out, bro.
I need
She's
to.
another one. Yeah, it's crazy. Orchestration is crazy.
Yeah, I love it. Well, what then, if it's not this or it's not, what's your favorite song as of this moment in time, anyway? Because I'm sure it
It,
changes.
it changes, but and I think for me, I'm gonna use a song I already already chose. And at this moment, Danny California, it's a tie between
Nice.
Danny California and Slipping Through My Fingers, bro. I've just
Man.
been in that world.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, these songs are incredible. But obviously with me, I'm a musician, so this answer changes like every
Sure.
week
I
for
know that
me.
feel. I know that
But
feel.
yeah, those
That's
two songs.
awesome. Yeah, I love it. This is the first time on this show ABBA has come up, and I was really excited because I have such a soft spot for ABBA, and it's one of those things I don't think people would ever guess that I do based on the stuff that my music and the stuff I write about. So, thank you for
Yeah.
bringing up ABBA and
Oh, of
letting
course,
the
man.
people
Got to.
know.
Let the people know, bro. And it's funny because my music is pretty much nothing like any of these songs that that I've said, which is funny. Maybe a little bit of Vegeta Super Saiyan theme in there a
Yeah,
little bit. But it's just funny how things can influence you and you can like things
yeah.
that aren't necessarily what you do, but they still resonate with you, which is kind of crazy.
I always think that's really interesting, and it's one of the reasons I love doing this show. Is I feel like it gives, like, sometimes I'll get someone's song list and knowing their music, it's like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense. But then there's
Yeah.
other times where, like this conversation, where like talking about it and hearing all the stuff, it's like I can start to hear how it kind of creeps in like unexpected ways, you know. And I think that's
Yeah.
like, to me, that's the stuff I love, and I love when a record like your record, there's so much of this stuff is in there, but you got to look for it because you've put it through this other sort of prism. And
True.
so I think it's fascinating how stuff influences us and what stays with us and what doesn't. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
so
Exactly. It's the beautiful part about being a creative. And so far,
exactly.
AI can't do that. I don't know. Maybe in the future they
So
can, but
far, no
so
way.
far they can't put the emotion in it. As far as I know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think if they figure that part out, then we're in bigger trouble than it mimicking our music. I think.
Oh
Be
yeah,
like,
100%,
that's
100%, bro. Mm.
Skynet days coming.
And I just watched like a little clip from Terminator Salvation. So it's funny that we got to this topic. Yeah, they better be careful, man. It's like we've made the warnings with the movies and
Right.
they don't care. They're still just going like, bro, you better be careful, man. You can't,
I know.
I don't
Stop looking
know.
at your bottom line and think about, like, you ain't gonna be
Yeah,
able to spend it anywhere. It's all gonna be gone.
exactly. All gonna be gone, bro.
Oh man. Well, on that uplifting note. So sometimes late at night, May 3rd on Rainbow Blonde, you got shows coming up. I'll put all the links to this in the show notes so that people got to check out the record, and hopefully if you're coming to a town near them, they will come see you and have fun in
Yeah,
Lithuania. That's
I will.
wild.
I've never been. We'll see
Yeah,
what
that's
it's
awesome.
about.
Awesome. Once again, thank you to Jharis Yokley for coming on, jumping in, having fun, and talking about some great tunes. Like a couple things on here that have ended up on my favorites playlist, and so I've been listening to quite a bit. Again, his album "Sometimes Late at Night" is out now, out May 3rd. When you're hearing this, it'll probably be already out on Rainbow Blonde Records. And check out his playlist song in the show notes. He's got some shows coming up. Again, all the links you need in the show notes. Thanks also for supporting the show. For those of you on Patreon, patreon.com/Foxy Digitalis, that's amazing. If that's not something for you, if you could leave a review on wherever you listen to this podcast, that stuff really helps. I would appreciate it so much. But bottom line, I'm just glad you're listening. Glad you're enjoying it. And until next time, keep listening to whatever the hell you want.